Like, I don't know what your favorite, example is using the tool, but you can have full on conversations about creating detailed project plans down to dates and times. Um, I tell you, if if I was planning a wedding again or something like that, imagine the stress that's going to be off your shoulders when this thing can do everything from A to Z under the sun. You don't got to lift up, you don't got to lift a pencil to plan some of these complex things out.
Absolutely. And it's only going to get bigger from here, right? As they continue to release more and more of these models and adding more and more parameters to them, its scope of capabilities is also expanding at that same rate. And so, like you were saying, no longer do you have to be trained to be a wedding planner. We can go to ChatGPT and have it plan our wedding for us because it's been trained on that scope of information.
Yeah, and in a more serious note, I mean, you have the ability to code, to build out detailed Excel macros. You can help it, with your pitch to a board. It's going to have all that ability to pull that information in a cohesive way, synthesize it for you, and then give you essentially the result of reading thousands of pages. One thing, I think another question that often comes up is the business use cases of ChatGPT. It's like I said, it's a common buzzword. It's an exciting tool, but I think something that sometimes lost in the mix rather, is that the use of GPT-3, GPT-4, which again is the model behind the tool, actually will extend far past what we can do with ChatGPT. So, I mean, what are some kind of future use cases beyond just what we see?
Right. ChatGPT right now is just a user interface that allows you to talk to the chatbot. I think one of the things that we're exploring at Armanino is the ability to customize these models for a specific use case. I think a great one or a great example to describe that would be we've actually ingested our own human resources policies into a ChatGPT model and have deployed it internally at the firm in order to create scales of efficiency where we don't have to rely on our human resources personnel, and we can actually use ChatGPT to be that central source of truth, right? You can imagine that model being customized for any non-public data set, where if you have a particular proprietary information that is internal to your firm, we can customize these models now on that information, and then you can deploy that internally to your firm so that it acts as the intermediary. You can improve your efficiencies and really drive improvements.
And I think what's really cool is that it's not even just acting as the intermediary between you and your data. It actually creates new information that you didn't have before. And what I mean by that is that hopefully not an hallucination of the system, but we live in different states. So we asked a question to compare Illinois versus California, and how the different HR policies differ. Now, there is no chapter in the book dedicated to our specific example or questions. It's probably a unique ask that almost never gets asked to a real HR person. But the system was able to put together the differences that it found from reading that data and provide a result that doesn't exist elsewhere. I mean, truly creative work that we now have. Now, think of that. Your business data, let's say you have your customer data uploaded as well as your financial information. There's no link to the systems normally, but the ability to draw those comparisons, it's truly incredible.
That's a great example too. I mean, you and I have developed that chatbots in the past, and in the past, that would have to be a specific question we programmed into the bot. What are the differences between a California employee and an Illinois employee, right? Now, we don't have to specifically train it on that one task. A large language model takes care of that for us.
Yeah, the creativity of the person asking the questions, you're never going to be able to match if you're just making the answer sheet. So it gives you that flexibility to solve problems that you haven't even seen yet.
Right. Absolutely.
I think the other thing I want to touch on quickly is where we're going to interact with these tools. Right now, like we said, for most people, it's going to ChatGPT, which is essentially just a chatbot website. You work with the tool there, but I think the ability to integrate this elsewhere is what's going to be a difference maker. So curious on your thoughts on that.
Totally. I personally believe that ChatGPT or large language models like it are the first true example of a human machine interface where we can use our natural language to interact with a computer. And I think as time progresses, we're going to see more and more deployments of technologies like ChatGPT that control our computer applications. We're already seeing it in the Microsoft universe. Microsoft recently just released their Copilot, which is a perfect example of how you can use text-based inputs and allow ChatGPT to translate that into a computer-focused action.
A completely stunning change to user design, user experience that I think we can't even begin to see everything that's going to change there. But yeah, having all this information at our fingertips at all time is going to absolutely be a game changer.